Okay guys, here's the little single track that you probably haven't seen, and this is taking you from the upper parking lot where you park when you go to Brown Mountain if you guys have to drive over here. I'm fortunate that I don't have to because I live here, but and this is a little chute that takes you down here, and as you can see, horses come here all the time. But this part, this trail is called the Perimeter Trail, and it takes you from Brown Mountain upper parking lot all the way. Well, you can go the other way and go up Brown Mountain if you want to, just another way to drop in, or you can go this way and go down to the Rose Bowl, or over to Cherry Canyon, Descanso Gardens right area over there, where there's some more really nice single track. And you guys can look back on my videos and see where I've rode those trails, and their trails are named, there's Sierra Negro, there's Liz's Loop, and it's just a short little trail network, but they're steep, and but that makes the descents fun, and especially on a single speed. Actually, I used to really love that trail on my rigid single speed, the 7 SLX. And let me talk to you about my 7 SLX, since you guys haven't seen it in a while. And if you look back on some of my old videos where I've kind of commemorated that bike, that was my first really, you know, no holds barred type of custom single speed build up. I did custom frames from 7, that had no routing for gearing. It was specifically made to be a single speed. It had a rigid fork. The geo was made around that Envy Mountain rigid fork. It had what do they call that, rocker dropouts, Paragon rocker dropouts, which probably not my favorite. A regular slider would probably have been better, or perhaps an eccentric, although I've had issues with eccentric bottom brackets, so I'm not sure if I really prefer those. But the rocker worked well. It just, you don't have a lot of range with that, so you're kind of limited on your gearing and tire combination. So that was, and then it had all custom parts, obviously, that I kind of handpicked and evolved over the years, because it started off with some used parts, and then I would buy new parts, and it was a really nice bike as far as just being like a playful big BMX bike. That's how it felt. I was able to put 29 by 2.8 in the front. That Envy Mountain fork has a lot of clearance. I think it even clears the 3-inch tire, and I put a Surly 3-inch tire on it, but Surly 3-inch tires kind of measure to 2.8, so they're not really a 3-inch. And it had clearance for 2.6 in back, 2.5 on some models, just depending on what model and how far you pulled it back. It did have a little bit longer of a chainstay, not as short of a chainstay. It was made a little bit more to be a rigid bike that didn't feel so rigid by having some flex with that super light titanium tubing and 31/8 diameter handlebars. And I mean, even these are 31/8. You get a little bit of flex in there. That fork, the Envy fork, even though it's a rigid carbon fork, they've done some magic to it, and it feels really compliant for a carbon fork. And I've owned like 3 or 4 other different carbon forks that didn't feel near as nice as that one. So, plus it's Envy, you get a lifetime warranty, which is nice. And that bike rode amazing. I loved it. You had to pick a really good line. You had to kind of trials ride through some stuff, or you kind of had to stop and start because it was just too much when it came to handling the rough stuff. So you would have to kind of go around it. But riding my local trails, I was fine with it. You know, I know my local trails and I know every inch of it. So since I know every inch of it, it helped out. That looks like a Clydesdale. Hey, is that a Clydesdale? Wow, that's beautiful. My dad has horses. He has a big horse like that too. But it's I forget what it's called. Appalachian? Appalachian, okay. Yeah, very, very big. Yeah. And people think it's a Clydesdale too. But that one, you think the way you trimmed his hair, it kind of looks like a Clydesdale too.
It's a Frisian.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, enjoy the wonderful day.
Thank you.
So, yeah, my dad has horses, and I can't wait to go back and see my dad this summer, spend some time. Anyway, I'm going to ride this really technical section, then I'll cut off the video. But this is where it spills out. I went left to go down here to the RoseBowl. If I would have went right, I would have gone over to Cherry Canyon through the Fern Truck Trail. But see, that kind of stuff, it's really tough on the rigid bike. This is easier. Hello, thank you. And this kind of stuff, when you're riding over a bunch of baby heads like that, you don't want to brake, you just want to keep your tires rolling. Just, not that I'm any good at biking, you guys. I'm average at best, but I just wanted to let you know those simple tips that most of the time from guys that ride better than me, they tell me brake less and trust your instincts. That's really the best advice I ever had. Anyway, so here we are. This is the bridge that goes over the 210 freeway, or goes under. We're going under, but the bridge holds up the 210 freeway right there. And then over down there is the RoseBowl. We will see the top of the golf course up here, and it's a nice little area. If you want to just do a simple trail run or do a dog walk, you could park at the RoseBowl and just take your dog or do your trail run up here, so you're not as bored doing loops around the RoseBowl. I used to do loops around this trail with my bikes with my kids, and the loop goes all the way around on the other side too, and I liked it because it's a little safe spot. It's not as steep obviously as going up Brown Mountain, so they can pedal and not feel like they're soul-sucking, you know, exhaustion of pedaling up a steep trail. So here we go, and let me show you where the golf course starts. And we're at the north end of the golf course here. This is the north end of the Arroyo, I think it's called the Arroyo Seco Trail, and you could go all the way down this trail actually to South Pass to another golf course and an equestrian area, and I've done that before. Now you're not supposed to do that on bikes, but I've done it anyway. And there's the golf course. So if you live in SoCal, you're probably enjoying being outdoors, golfing or biking or throwing frisbees or whatever today. So riding horses too. Get out there, guys, get some health and fitness in, and I'll talk to you later.